Welcome to Sanako's language teaching webinar. The topic for today is using Sanako Connect for teacher-led language instruction. I am your speaker for today. My name is Aleksis Juhakoski, and I'm a solution specialist at Sanako. We'll start off by learning a few things about Sanako Connect. First off, some practicalities. The webinar will be recorded and published on Sanako's channels and shared with all participants afterwards. Stay until the end to learn more about a free product trial offer from Sanako. Attendees will be muted by default and can only ask questions through the question and answer feature. Answered questions will be visible to all participants. Briefly about Sanako, we are a Finnish educational technology company, and we've been established in 1961. We're specializing in providing teacher-led language teaching tools for high schools and universities. Our mission is to help people to teach and learn languages more efficiently and more effectively. We have satisfied customers in 114 countries, and our solutions are used in over 50,000 classrooms worldwide. Some of the top institutions in the world, such as the California State University and the University of Leeds, are currently using our solutions. So, about Sanako Connect. It's our browser-based language teaching environment. It's meant for teaching in the classroom, remotely, and also in a hybrid approach, where some of the students are working from home and others are at the institution. It's a browser-based software that enables all the benefits and features from a language lab and is easy and fast to implement as well. There are no student accounts, and Connect is fully compliant with data security as well. The solution can be used with Chromebooks, laptops, tablets, and mobile phones as well. It allows for real-time teaching and self-paced language learning within one solution. It also combines the best parts of video meeting software, LMS, and language labs. The system supports all teaching modes and combinations. You can teach remotely. You can also use Connect in classroom. You can teach synchronously as well as asynchronously. Here are some benefits for schools and universities, but the most important part is that Connect enables your students to speak more. Your students will have more time for active practice in the target language. Now, what is the difference between Connect and solutions such as Teams or Zoom? Connect has all under the same roof. There's video, screen sharing, audio, language learning exercises, grading, recording individual students, teacher-led exercises, time-coded feedback, two-track recording, etc. All of the things that you'd like to see in a language learning solution. Connect has also been developed with language teachers. So all the features are something you'd use in real-life language teaching. And these unique features are not available in Teams or Zoom. Connect is focused on speaking and language learning. So it's not another general purpose teaching tool in that sense. We have customers around the world, mostly in the United States, the United Kingdom, and Italy, for example. And here is one of the customer testimonials from Italy. We're going to jump into the live demo now to showcase some of the great features that are included in Sanako Connect. This will also work as a primer if you take the free trial into use, so you will be able to start using Connect straight away. The first thing you do in Connect is you create your teacher account. You'll receive a link from us to do so. When you log in, all you have to do is create a session. These are like virtual classrooms. Your students will be connecting to these sessions during your lessons. So you will be clicking on New Session button, and all you have to do is give the session a name and click Create right here at the bottom. Your new session will appear at the top of the list. If you scroll right and click the arrow here, you can copy the URL to your clipboard. This is all you need to do. You just copy this URL and send it over to your students. When your students click the link, they will be able to enter the session. We will now join the session as a teacher. When we first enter the session, we'll see our audio and video settings appear. The system checks that your microphone is working and your camera is working as well. All you have to do is click on OK. Okay, we're now in the virtual classroom and we have 2 students present already. Let's first take a look at the top menu here. We are right now in the class menu, so we see all of the students that are currently in the classroom. Next to it, we have files. So if we want to upload files that we want to include in exercises, we can do so here. There's also an exercise creation menu next to the files menu right here. And in the submissions menu, you will see recordings done by your students or anything that they submit through the exercises. Let's take a quick look at the functions available to us for audio and video streaming. Let's say we want to speak to all the students that are currently in the classroom. All we have to do is we click on Speak to Class, and the system initializes an audio connection that is transmitted to all the students that are currently in the session. While this connection is available, we have the options of turning our microphone on and off. We can also turn our webcam on, and we can share our screen, both at the same time. For individual students, we can start a video call just by clicking on Speak. This will initiate a video call between you, the teacher, and the student. So in this case, the student is me again, so I'll turn on both webcams. Here's me again. I'm currently in the classroom with my mobile phone as well. So we can give our students simple instructions or interview them, for example, through the webcam feature. Now let's get started on the different activities that we're going to take a look at today. First off, let's think about the teaching situation. If we're live in a classroom with our students, we have options. We might tell our students live in the classroom what we're going to do next. If we have a hybrid approach where some of the students are working from home, or if all of the students are working from home, we can use the Speak to Class function to easily transmit our voice to all of the students and give them instructions in beforehand. Before we jump to the activities that we're going to take a look at today, I'm going to show you how easily you can use your pre-existing materials with these activities. So I have some files available to me. I'm going to upload them to the system because I will be using them with the activities. All I have to do is click this area. The files that I have available to me right now is an image, a video, an MP3 audio file, and a PDF. I'm just going to select all of them and click on Open. The system will upload them to this classroom so I can use them with my activities. We'll give it some time because the video file is quite large. But once The files have been uploaded. They are available to us to be used with any activity we decide to launch for the students. We're going to be using the live activities, and we've created pre-made workflows for the most commonly used activities. So as a teacher, all you have to do is navigate over to the class view, and we're going to start our first activity. So we click on Launch Exercise. The first activity we're going to take a look at today is an image description task. We want to show our students an image and record them describing what's in the image. So let's see how we go about that. All we have to do is we click on Describe What You See, and then next we need to choose the image file that we're going to use with this activity. We uploaded an image, so let's use that. Then we click on Next, and we are ready to launch the activity. The system also tells us what's going to happen next. So it's going to display an image for the students, and there's going to be a recorder that we, the teacher, are going to control. So I'm going to launch that activity for my students. The system tells us that we are all set and we are ready to begin. Here on the right, we see all the students that are currently inside the classroom as well. The students currently see this image displayed on their computers or mobile phones or tablets. All we have to do as a teacher is click on Start Recording. The system starts automatically recording all of the students that are present for this activity. We'll let the activity run for as long as we imagine that it takes for our students to describe what's in the image. For example, we can give them 1 minute to do so. In the end, we're going to click on Stop Recording. Now all of the students have stopped. When I click on Play Students Recordings, it will play back the recording for each individual student. So each of your students will hear their own voice describing what's in the image. This allows for self-reflection. The students will be able to hear how their voice sounds when they are using the target language. So we click on Play, and it plays back the recordings on each student's side. When we are done, we click on End Exercise, and we're presented with these options here. The top option allows us to collect all student submissions. That means that all of the recordings done by your students will be automatically collected within the system. We can also choose to keep the exercise shared. If we want to allow our students to review their work independently, we'll choose this option here. We can also remove all groups that were created during the activity. For this activity, we didn't create any groups, so we can leave it as it is. Now I'll click on End Controlled Exercise, and we'll navigate over to the Submissions tab right here. Here's where we can review all of the student recordings. Each individual student recordings have been collected automatically for us. We can listen back by clicking on Play, and by clicking on this button right here, we can download the recordings if we want to store them in another place instead of Connect. You can always leave the recordings inside Connect. They will be there indefinitely for you to review. Okay, let's launch another activity for our students. This time, we want to do a speaking practice activity. We want our students to listen to an audio file and to record themselves while listening. So we'll choose File as the audio source right here. For this activity, we're going to use the video file that we uploaded previously, because Connect's 2-track recorder can handle video as well. So we click on Next. Again, the system tells us clearly what's going to happen when we click on Launch. This time, a recorder will be displayed for the students, but we're controlling the recorder again as the teacher. So we click on Launch, and again, we are all set and we're ready to begin. We want all of our students to watch this video, and we'll record them listening and repeating what's being said in the video. So we just click on the recording. The video starts to play back for all of the students.
Missä asut?
In this example, the audio is in Finnish. So the students watch the video and their voice is being recorded right alongside the video. Once the video has ran through, you can again play back the student recordings. Your students can see the video and they will hear their recording play alongside the original audio. Again, it's a great opportunity for your students to review themselves after an activity. We're going to end it again, and this time we're going to again collect all student submissions, and we'll keep the exercise shared yet again. So I'm going to click on End Controlled Exercise, and here we have the speaking practice activity and the submissions that are related to that activity. Again, all student recordings have been collected. Now, as a teacher, it's time for reviewing the student work. While we listen back to their recording, we can mute the master track so we don't have to listen to the original audio every single time we review student work. Here we see the timeline. By right-clicking on the timeline, I can add written comments to specific moments in time. I can also record my comments. Let's say I want to correct one of my students' pronunciation at some point in time. I can record an example for my student to listen to. All I have to do then is click on Show Feedback, and it will be displayed for the student under their video recording in the timeline at the correct time when we inserted the feedback. Okay, let's go for another activity then. Let's do a listening activity then. For this one, we're going to be using the MP3 audio file that we have available. We're just going to play back simple audio for all of the students that are currently in the classroom, whether they are at the institution or at their home, using computers, laptops, tablets, or mobile devices. Once again, we click on Next and Launch. We are all set. We can control the audio playback. So all we have to do is we click on Play.
Exercise 7-1, the throng of thermometers. I'm going to read the following paragraph one straight through so that you can hear that no matter how fast I read it, all the THs are still there.
So we can choose an audio file and play it back for our students. Control everything on the way. So let's click on End Exercise again. This time, let's not collect student submissions because there's nothing to submit. We can leave the exercise shared so our students will be able to play back the audio if necessary. Let's end that exercise as well and launch the final exercise. So now we're going to do a pair exercise. It's a pair discussion activity. Before launching this activity, I would give my students instructions again. We can either write the instructions here, or we can again use the speak to class to tell our students the instructions before we begin. Or if we're in a classroom, we can just tell our students right there what's going to happen. Typically, you give your students a topic for the discussion, something related perhaps to the lesson you had yesterday, or for example, the pros and cons of space travel. What happens now is the students inside your classroom are divided into groups. They are connected through the streaming system inside Sanako Connect. They can hear each other. So we're going to be recording all of the groups at the same time. I'll just click on Start Recording. All of the groups will start recording, and they start their discussion on pros and cons of space travel. While the activity runs, we can navigate over to the Submissions tab and perhaps go through a few recordings. Let's give our students some time to complete the activity. And when they are done, we'll just again click on Stop Recording. And once again, we have the options of playing back the student recordings. Now each individual group would hear their group or pair discussion right straight away after I click play. Again, we click on End Exercise, and we choose to collect all student submissions and to keep the exercise shared. We'll also remove all groups at this point, because for the pair discussion activity, we asked the system to create groups for us. When we click on End Controlled Exercise, all the groups are removed and we are ready again to start another kind of activity. Now, the activities that we took a look here were all synchronous activities. So all of the students are completing them at the same time. Let's say we want to do asynchronous activities. We want to make exercises available to our students that they can complete on their own in the order that they wish, or perhaps we want to decide to show them exercises one by one, and when they are done, we'll share the next one with them. So how would we go about it? There's an exercise creation engine inside Sanako Connect. So we can create all kinds of exercises in beforehand. We can make them available whenever we want, and the students who join the classroom will be able to access these exercises. Let's take a look at how we would create a listen and repeat exercise. We click on New Exercise. We give the exercise a name. And then we click on the Editor button. There are different parts that we can use to create an exercise, but for this example, all I'm going to need is the Advanced Recorder. So I'll add that. Now, with the Advanced Recorder, it's the 2-track recorder that you already saw in some of the activities. We're going to choose a master track. That's the audio your students will be listening to while they are completing the exercise. If you have an audio file available, all you have to do is drag and drop it right here. And that's it. You can also record it live. Let's say we have a list of words or sentences related to the lesson on hand. We can read out our list and record it and use it with the exercise. So I'll click on Start Recording and do it live. So I'll read out my list of words or sentences right here. I can now listen back to the audio that I just recorded. The audio that I just recorded is also added as the master track for the advanced recorder. So that would be the audio my students listen to while completing the exercise. Then I'll click Save. And next to the exercise, there's an arrow. I click on the arrow and choose Share to Session. Now all of the students who are currently logged in to this classroom can access this listen and repeat exercise, and they can complete it on their own. We are free to, for example, create new exercises or review previous submissions while our students work on the exercises individually. When your students complete these exercises, they will be able to submit them as well. I will show you how that works by bringing in a third student. You'll also see how your students join one of these sessions. So all your students need is the link to the session, and then they are prompted for their name. They have the same audio and video settings, and they will also be asked for permission to use their microphone. Now, when they click on the exercises, here's the listen and repeat exercise that we just created. All your students have to do is click on Start, and they can work on the exercise on their own. When they are done, they click on Submit, and their recording is sent back to the teacher for review. Again, we can listen back to the student recording and insert our feedback in specific moments in time. Right here, you see the third student that just joined the classroom. Now, the final thing we're going to cover today is using mobile phones to enter one of these sessions, and what's the easiest way to do so. With this example, we are also going to cover an asynchronous lesson where the teacher has made exercises available and the students can log in when they have the time and they can complete the exercises. We're going to go back to the session view. For each of these virtual classrooms or sessions that you create, the system automatically also creates a QR code. You can access that QR code from the same menu we use to join the classroom as a teacher and to copy the classroom address. There's an item here that says Show QR code. If I click on it, it will display the QR code for this particular session. We can easily download the QR code. If we're inside a classroom, we can project it on the classroom projector, or we can just share this image with our students. You can try it yourself right now. All of the modern mobile phones support QR codes by default, so all you have to do is open up your camera app and point it towards the QR code. It will come up with a notification for an address, and if you click on that address, you will enter one of my virtual classrooms where I've made some example exercises available. You can try how it is to use Connect as a student this way. Also, you'll see how easy it is to use Connect asynchronously. Okay, that concludes the live demo portion of this webinar.
Yes, thank you, Alexis. And I think we can have a few minutes for questions. We're here to answer any questions you might have before jumping to the last few slides of the presentation, a few final words and next steps from Sanako. So please, if you have any questions, use the Q&A function in the Zoom webinar, and we will review the questions one by one. So yes, we have a few questions, a couple of questions in. The first one is, how many students can the app support? So Alexis, could you share some information about if there's any limitations for amount of students?
There's currently, for students joining the classroom, there's currently no limit, so your students can connect and work on the exercises and activities. For the streaming functionalities, the current limit for groups is 12 students at a time. Of course, you can have as many groups as are needed, so you can use the streaming functionalities with all of your students. Of course, all of this depends on your network quality. So if your internet connectivity is low, you might experience issues at some point, in that sense.
Yes, and other possible limitations for the amount of students obviously comes from the license. So the license package that your institution, high school, university has acquired for Sanako Connect. So obviously subscription and the contract might have limitations for the amount of student licenses. A second question, is it possible to use an exercise for a single group?
Currently, all of the exercises are available to all of the students that are connected to the classroom to make it as easy as possible. We're looking into developing a feature where you can share an exercise with a particular group, so we should have that at a later point.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. There's one question about the price range. I will actually cover the price range and the subscription options in the last slide, so let's leave it that for later. One question about content. So the question is, I assume teachers use their own content, and does not Sanako provide any pre-made class materials?
Well, yes, like we took a look with the examples, you can use all your pre-existing materials while creating the exercises or activities in Connect. But creating content in a language lab is very simple. All you have to have, for example, is a topic for the discussion that your students will be having. Or all you need is a list of words and you can record it straight away in the system. At this point, we don't have any pre-made content within the system. We do have the pre-made workflows that you can use to launch activities where you necessarily don't need any content. That's the situation right now.
Yes, and Sanako also has other solutions that we offer for educational institutions, and some of them have pre-made, ready-made content available for multiple languages. So if you're interested more on the content, please contact Sanako through our website, sanako.com, and we will show you more about the content solutions from Sanako. And a possible future scenario for Sanako Connect is also that Sanako will make pre-made content available for the Connect platform, but that's not the current offering yet. So it's among in our development plans for the future. One question is, well, about the streaming video audio streaming functions. The question relates to Teams and Zoom. So no, you don't have to use Teams Teams or Zoom alongside with Connect. So Connect has currently a very good quality audio video streaming functions. So you can do group chat, video chats, and speak to individual students, speak to individual groups, or speak to the whole class. So you can basically do every possible video audio connection via the Connect platform.
And there's also screen sharing options for students within the solution. So not only can the teacher share their screen, your students will be able to share their screen within their groups as well.
Yes, this is a new function. It was made available just a while back, so we're improving a lot of the functions inside Connect, and one of the most recent updates was related to the audio video screen share functions. So it's been totally remade since a few months ago. One question, in the pairing situation, can we set a definite limit for the activity, or do the students decide to stop the activity by themselves?
Well, as for the examples that we took a look at today, the pair/group discussion activity is completely under teacher control. So if you're using the pre-made activity workflows like I did earlier, you, the teacher, can decide when the activity ends. All you have to do is stop the recording and collect the student recordings and end the exercise that way. We are looking at timed exercises as well. It's in our development plan, but for teacher-controlled activities, it's probably the best that the teacher retains the control in that sense.
All right, so let's cover the few remaining things on our webinar agenda for today. So Sanako Connect is mainly focused, designed for high schools, universities, for their language educators. Some details about the license package available we have available. Well, the minimum package is for 30 student licenses. So that's the minimum package available, and the institutions can choose the subscription length. The minimum license is 12 months, so 1 year license, but there's also options available for longer periods, like 5 years, 3 years licenses. And this is just a very rough pricing range example on the slide. It's very hard to give a precise quotation before knowing your institution's needs, the student amounts needed, and the license length. So the exact pricing depends on the user volume, the subscription length, and obviously geographic currency has an effect as well. So if you would like to have a quotation for Sanako Connect platform, you can check our website for your local resellers, contact details, and contact them directly. They're there to help you in your local language if needed, if you're from different region and from an English speaking country. And you can also contact Sanako directly, send an email to info@sanako.com, or go to sanako.com and click the book a demo button from the front page, and we will then help you forward. Just a quick reminder about Sanako and to whom our solutions are designed for. So our main customers are from the formal education sector, meaning schools, high schools, middle schools, colleges, universities, language training centers, even school districts, ministries of education, and governments are our customers. And we haven't yet designed a service support model for homeschools, freelancer teachers, nor for individual language learners. So we are more designed and focused on the formal education sector. What's next? So after this webinar, you will receive an email from Sanako. This email will have the links to the recording of this webinar and also the instructions how to take acquire your free 1-month trial for Sanako Connect. So how to create the teacher licenses, teacher accounts, and start using Sanako Connect for free for 1 month. So this information will be shared via email shortly. And lastly, you can check Sanako's website for the local reseller details to contact them for any local support or inquiries for quotations. And obviously, you're free to contact us directly at info@sanako.com or at our website, sanako.com. Yes, thanks for joining us for today for the webinar, and I wish you have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.